So, I wanted to branch out a bit. I want to try something new. I want to kind of talk about topics more often, and I kind of want to be around more. And I wanted to start with something I don't think creators talk about much. I don't think creators talk about it because it's always kind of assumed, right? It's always assumed that a creator will always pick the newest toy to do his recording off of in most situations. Unless you're talking about like one or two exclusives. But is that really the case? Is that really the way life works? No, it's not. It actually isn't. It's actually very far from the truth. In fact, it's so far from the truth, we're going to talk about it today. Believe it or not, I am guilty of this. I play against the grain when it comes to what I want to do and how I do it. And today I want to talk about two platforms I record off of the most. Two platforms that I probably will always record off of, and then we'll talk about one platform that I don't record off of as much these days, but I might be recording off of more in the future. So let's get to it. Platform number one. The Switch. It's the fucking Switch. It's this thing right here. See this? Yeah, this is it right here. I love the Switch. I don't think I could really put into like words how much I love the Switch. I probably couldn't if I had to. I own somewhere in the ballpark of around 70 Switch games, I think. I haven't actually counted in a really long time. And that was even after like a purge where I got rid of, no joke, like two dozen games that were of genres I just didn't care about, were games I hadn't picked up since I bought them, and were things I just hadn't picked up in general. And that's mostly like RPGs or like really close to RPG adjacent things. Like that's how much I love the Switch. I love the Switch so much that for a decent amount of time I was buying games on one console and also buying it for the Switch twice just so I could maintain my workflow. I am an absolute fucking nutcase on the Switch. Like, okay, this here is my take with me Switch. This is the not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom with the Satisfy Mystic grip for Tears of the Kingdom. Looks fantastic. It's got the gold. It's got the green and gold trim. It looks amazing. I fucking love it. Okay, here's how far I've fallen as like a human being. I own most games I do on this channel. I own on two Switches because I like to be able to play my games no matter what. So if I go somewhere and I don't have internet, I take this one. All my games are already on it. They're digital. If I'm at home, I pop out one of my game cards. I throw it into my Switch over there. I actually own the Splatoon 3 one. I fucking love that console. It is fucking fantastic. I used to carry that one around with me. The only reason I don't is because this one exists. Don't get me wrong. I think the dock for this... No, I take that back. I think the dock for the Splatoon one is like way better. But we don't have to go there like right now. Trust me. We don't have to go there. I love the Switch. And there's some reasons why I genuinely feel the Switch is like one of the greatest tools for content creation, especially when you're in this niche hobby, this niche cycle I'm in with RPGs. The reason why it's so great is because you can take it with you. And I don't really think a lot of you really grasp just how much stuff you can get done in an RPG if, I don't know, 2 hours a day, instead of waiting to get home to start working on something, if you could put 2 extra hours into actually trying to get it done, that's amazing. That's game changing. That actually would like change everything. That's one of the reasons why my channel made such an abrupt change. Honestly, there's a reason why you started seeing more and more of my games be on the Switch. It's not just because they were on sale, although in many cases that probably helped. It was actually because them being on Switch is just, it's really convenient. Like, oh my god, being able to just have this console with you wherever you go and just say, hey, I have the Switch. I can just go somewhere. I can be at work. It's like I can take it wherever I want to go. I can do whatever I want to do. It is fantastic. I love it. The Switch is, if I was to like be honest, I would tell most content creators that want to create like video game content and want to create it easily, even if we're talking playthroughs, reviews, really any kind of content, the Switch is the way to go. Because if what you're doing is going to require busy work or leg work or lots of game time, you could just take it with you. And I think that's a really powerful benefit to the Switch. Now, is that everything? No. I play a lot of games if you get the Switch. I think to date, I've done about four or five. Ni no Kuni, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, Xenoblade Chronicles DE, Final Fantasy X. Christ, maybe I've done more than I thought I did. Jesus Christ, how many did I actually fucking do on Switch? Crisis Core. Oh, this is looking worse and worse. Dragon Quest. That's like 6, 7. Octopath. Oh god. Yeah, I've done quite a few for the Switch. And that's like the great thing. I think people underestimate the Switch. And I would say that if you are a content creator or want to be a content creator, the Switch, not even for like, I know the Switch is going out of style soon, but just from a convenience factor, I think the Switch is a fantastic piece of kit. And I think it's great if you want to create content around video games, because you get to have that extra flexibility of being able to take your work with you. I'm sorry, your games with you. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, I see you. So it's really difficult for me to sum up why I support Sony sometimes. My channel, by virtue of being an RPG-based channel, has always leaned into Sony, because Sony is where the RPGs usually are. And that is a complex situation to be in. I don't agree with Sony, and more I find myself not even really liking Sony. But if I'm going to play a game, 9 times out of 10, the Sony controller is the controller I prefer. Now, if you've watched my Final Fantasy IX playthrough of like the first episode, you probably know this controller has fucked me on more than one occasion. Not necessarily the controller, but my muscle memory. You ask me to press circle, X, square, triangle, I don't have to look down. I know what button that is, because I've used Sony controllers most of my entire life. Now, you ask me to press whatever the fuck buttons on a Pro controller? Yeah, good fucking luck if I can find them. I'm not gonna find them. The muscle memory, not there. Honestly, I wish more places would just let me put the Sony buttons for my Nintendo Switch, because I totally would do it. If it wasn't gonna look ridiculous to mod a Switch controller to just have buttons that had the Sony buttons on them, I probably would do it just to make my life easier, but then games would have to adjust to that, and this is never going to happen. I really like Sony. So 9 times out of 10, I pick Sony as being the primary platform I do stuff off of. I don't think it's a bad platform to play games off of. In fact, I think it's a great platform. but I understand why most people wouldn't. You know, I'm blessed. I guess you can say blessed if you really want to take it to that kind of moralistic standpoint to have a PS5. Why did I get a PS5, you might ask? I got a PS5 because I had the opportunity to. I mean, I don't really have a better reason. I mean, it's compatible with PS4. I don't lose anything by having one. It doesn't affect my overall workflow. So having one just didn't, I mean, not having one didn't make sense. So I got one. And I've had one for quite a while. In fact, the Persona 5 playthrough has been played primarily off of PS5 so far. My only downside is I'm playing the PS4 version. I actually own the PS5 version. I got that shit for like 20 bucks. So, you know, options, baby. I would genuinely probably never, ever, ever not have a Sony console in my life if I could help it. It would take a lot for me to go to Xbox. I think that's mostly just due to my own personal attachments, right? And this is one of those weird situations where personal attachments can kind of be the thing that keeps you somewhere versus takes you away from something, right? Because a lot of games on Sony I may or may not ever play on this channel, but there are a lot of games that I can't get on Switch. So, what happens when a game comes out not for PlayStation and not for Switch? Well, I have to boot up a PC. I don't like the PC. It's not like the PC is a bad platform. It's not even like playing games on a PC is a terrible idea. In fact, I get why so many people play games on PC. I fucking hate it. I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. You could explain it to me 1,000 times. To me, I don't see the appeal. I have two PCs. I have one PC right here, which does my editing and a lot of my primary stuff that I do. It's where I sit most of the time. And I have another PC over here by my TV. That PC actually is running a front-end arcade system where I play a lot of games off of. In fact, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you probably remember stuff like Snatcher or Golden Sun being on the channel. Those were actually off of emulators. You know, a big change for me is that emulators haven't always really been a thing for me. I didn't really understand them. And for the longest time, my goal was always to play games in original hardware, because original hardware gave me more control of a lot of elements of its recording. You can't really accomplish that if you're not using an emulator. You might have more control over certain elements, but you know, you then got to get into like is this running as well as it would if I was playing on original hardware? And that's a really weird place to be. I don't like the PC. I have a few other games I might record off of it, but it is not my primary way. I think we have a few other handheld games I'm going to be doing, but I won't need the PC for those. And this leads me to my fourth tool for what I do. A new toy I've obtained. And something I absolutely fucking adore. This is the Analog Pocket. After 8 months of waiting for this fucking thing to arrive in the mail, I have literally found myself my absolute solution to portable gaming and recording. And goddamn, I fucking love it. I genuinely have always kind of battled with myself when it came to portable gaming and wanting to capture it. I know there's a lot of better methods these days that can get you pretty close to like OG hardware, and I've always kind of been really about that OG experience if I can help it. But man, the Analog Pocket is absolutely fantastic. Now, granted, it's $220, so, you know, you get what you pay for, which, yeah, I didn't just pay $220 because that would imply I only bought the Analog Pocket, which would be untrue. Oh no, I bought more than the Analog Pocket. I bought so much more. I got the Pocket. I bought an actual link cable. A link, guys, a link cable. Circa 1995. Guys, we are here now. A link cable. Alright? Of all the boneheaded things I've ever done, I bought a link cable. Don't ever tell me I make good decisions, because you are wrong, sir. Just realize I didn't have the item I needed for the gag. The gag of all the shit I bought for that overpriced, for that seemingly to many people overpriced piece of hardware I own. Didn't have the part for the gag. My bad. It was over there. I bought the dock. So, what does this mean? This means that I can now bypass a lot of the more annoying things I've had to deal with. Let me give you an example. You guys remember Golden Sun? Yeah. In Golden Sun, if you want to, say, move your save file or transfer all your data from Golden Sun 1 to Lost Age, you have to either type in a 10-page password, which, no, not doing that, or B, have 2 Game Boys, both games, and a link cable. Now look, I only recently found out that emulators will let you get away with some of this goofy shit, but I don't have that kind of patience. I don't. I'm not doing it. But now, I don't have to. I have a dock. I have my Pocket. And I have other Game Boys. I can do all that shit myself now. Portable gaming and capturing in high quality is no longer a problem. And the problem is, as cool as this is, I am hard pressed to recommend it to anybody. Right? Like a PlayStation, cool. Fantastic. You're golden. A fucking Switch? Knock yourselves out. You're probably going to have a good time anyways. Why are you even watching this video? Buy one already. Fuck you. An Analog Pocket? Well... I mean, you can. I wouldn't. It's not like it's a bad device. Like, that's the fucked up thing, right? Like, it's not a bad device. And I don't want this video to be about the Pocket, because I have an entire other video planned about the Pocket, I promise. We will talk about this. We will have a conversation at some point about this 220 behemoth piece of tech. It's not that I think the Pocket is bad. It's just... capture cards are expensive. I don't think you understand. Capture devices already, like, for a good capture device, like not some knockoff bullshit you buy off of eBay, like a decent one, you're already paying like $100. Right? Now you might say, well, if I've already paid $100 to get in, what's another $200 for a console? Is it that easy though? Is it? Really? Okay, because like, hear me out. $220 for the device, alright? A lot of you are going to say, not that big of a deal, right? $220 for the device. Another $100 for the dock. Is that really what you think is a good idea? Is this really what you want? I don't think this is what you want. You might think this is what you want, but this isn't what you want. You don't want this. I wanted it, but I don't make good choices in life. If I made good choices in life, I don't know, I'd do something else. I would have finished college. Go to school. Go to school, children. Oh, it didn't freeze. Oh my god, it didn't freeze. Oh shit, that's impressive. Oh, okay, all right. I'm sorry. This was meant to be a focused video about a focused topic, and it turned into a train wreck of a video. And I'm not sorry, but I am sorry for those of you who clicked on this video expecting something very different. I really did mean well when I made this video, but I can't help but say one last thing before we end this video outright. I want to end on a note that I think anyone who has an interest in getting into content creation on the internet should hear from another content creator to you. A piece of advice that'll fundamentally change the way you view YouTube, content creation, and just people in general. And I need you all to really zoom in and pay attention to me on this. All right? Just lock yourselves in and pay attention, please. Are you looking at me right now? You looking? Look into my fucking African ass, yellow eyes. Look into my fucking eyes. Just buy a Switch. Just buy a Switch. Like, this isn't just buy a fucking Switch.